What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Coach Black, your internet, relationship, and breakup coach. Today's topic: getting your ex to chase you after a breakup is a process, not a destination. Now, I'm making this video as a follow-up to the last video that I released on this channel titled How to Get Your Ex to Want to Chase You Aggressively. Now, the reason why I decided to make this follow-up is because I see that some people, not all, but some are missing the message, right? I see a lot of people essentially saying your ex either wants to be with you or they don't, right? They either choose to stay or they can leave. And while I understand where that's coming from, you truly have to get that when someone breaks up with you, it is not the same person that you knew in the past. Their feelings for you have changed. If you think about the beginning of the relationship, they were probably more excited about you. They were more invested. They truly cared about your feelings and what you want. And so they were likely to do whatever that they could to make you happy. This is how relationships tend to go. But when the relationship is over and ended, their feelings are extremely low. That's why they broke up in the first place. And so giving someone an ultimatum after they dumped you is probably the worst thing that you can do. Yet, a lot of people make this mistake. As soon as you hear from your ex after no contact, you start saying things like, have you decided? Do you want to be with me or not? Can we get back together? If you don't want to get back together, stop contacting me. That is rushing and forcing the process. The way reattraction works is that it's going to be a slow and steady escalation. And that is fine. You have to build that tension and chemistry that actually draws them into you. Think about it like a string, right? When your ex pulls away in one direction, you don't chase and seek certainty and say, can we get back together? You actually pull in the opposite. You stand your ground, and all of that tension in the string is what's going to force you back together, kind of like a rubber band. So you have to truly understand that process, but that's not the only key, and I'm going to explain further. But before we continue, if you haven't already, I'd ask that you go ahead and like this video right now. It truly does help the channel and it costs you nothing. But it is people like you who like, subscribe, and share that truly get this content out to other people who need it. So I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now, the second part of this, right? Understanding that you have to take time to rebuild that attraction. The second part is that you also have to think about this from your perspective. You don't want to rush things because they just left the relationship. So it's clearly a very unstable point in the relationship. And so you have to make sure that there's more security. Also, you shouldn't give away your heart so easily. Your ex technically just trampled all over your heart when they walked away. So why would you want to subject yourself to the same thing? It needs to be a slow process, not only for you to reattract your ex, but also for you to make sure that your ex is the type of person that you can actually build a successful relationship with. This is why you take things slowly. Right? Distance creates more attraction. So when you give your ex time and space, they're going to be more attracted to you. But also you have the opportunity to watch and see what they do, if they're being consistent, right? If their words match their action. When they tell you, hey, I'm gonna call you when I get back home, do they actually do it? When you see them on a date and you have an amazing time, do they follow up with you in a couple of days or in a week and try to see you again? Right? You have to watch and see how your ex is showing up as well. because this is not just about them, this is about you. And that's ultimately who I care about, is the person watching this video. You shouldn't make things so easy for your ex. You shouldn't just say, hey, here's the relationship. Are you ready to take me back? Because if you don't make sure that your ex actually values you again and actually values the relationship, well, in another 2 months of being together or 3 months, they will dump you again because you didn't vet them properly. So reattracting your ex, never think about it as a destination. It's trying to give them an ultimatum. Think about it. If you got fired from a job, right? You wouldn't call your boss the next day after getting fired and saying, hey, I think you should give me a raise or else. That just wouldn't work. It doesn't make any sense in the context. They're not invested in you any longer. Right? So there's a whole courtship process that you have to go through with your ex after no contact, where you guys slowly get to know each other once again. Because the old people who are in a relationship together need to have changed. You need to have evolved to actually build a new relationship, because 1 + 1 is always equals to 2. Whether you separate it for a long time and come back together, it's still 1 and 1. So you have to have this slow and steady escalation where you're courting each other and you're seeing if your ex is doing the things that they say that they will do, and making sure they have also worked on themselves, they have also healed after the breakup. And now maybe it's 2 and 2 or 2 and 3, but it's no longer 1 and 1 to actually get a different outcome. Because if you're still the same people, you're going to end up breaking up again sooner or later. So getting back together, I really need you to understand this. Getting back your ex, getting them to chase you, reattracting them is a process. And in most cases, it'll probably take a few weeks, maybe even a couple of months, and that's okay. Now, if your ex is breadcrumbing you, they're not consistent, they're wasting your time, you will easily be able to spot that as well. And when you see those signs, it's time for you to walk away permanently. Don't entertain someone who is wasting your time. That's perfectly fine. But it's going to take some time for you to actually get back together and fix things. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, I'd ask, if you haven't already, make sure you like it right now. It truly does mean a lot. If you want to support the channel, you can make a donation. You can hit the super thanks button and make a donation. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to talk to me one-on-one about your situation or your breakup, you can click the link in description. It's going to be the second link in description, and you can book a coaching call and we can talk about your breakup and what you're going through. I truly do appreciate you, and I wish you an amazing day. Peace.